your style isn't just about what you wear. I recently had a conversation with someone at work the other week. He came in with a beautiful fitted polo on, some perfectly sitted, pleated trousers that were straight cut, and a pair of black loafers. He came into work looking sharp. Now keep in mind, my friend here does go to the gym quite consistently and definitely holds a high standard for himself in terms of training and just general lifestyle. I couldn't help but jam up a bit on this particular day. I said, man, you look unbelievable today. You just pop. All you've essentially got to do here is stand and look good. And he laughed. He chuckled to himself, actually. He goes to me, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. But then he also said, ever since I've built and maintained the body, I've just felt this urge and rush of confidence in myself and in my abilities. Honestly, I could not relate with something more true. Now, me and this friend have not only formed a relationship with each other, not just for our sense of fashion, but also because we've got that respect for each other, where we both hold high disciplinary standards in what we do in everyday life. Systems and disciplinary standards is what changed me into being happy and fulfilled as a young man. I look at the times where I was 18, 19 years old, just stepped into university out of high school, and there wasn't too much direction in life. It was go to uni, do what you got to do, get out, but again, enjoy the real senses of what life has to offer, essentially. You hear it quite often. People are lost at this age. They're not really sure which avenue to go to. You've heard of gap years as being quite common now these days as well. In terms of my experience, I was going to uni, doing the standard and what was required of me as a young adult, but that was about it. I was going for late night coffees every night, and this ultimately in turn made me fail to present myself in a respectable manner in social situations and even in situations that required my full attention. I look back and reflect on those times, and yeah, of course it was fun going out with your friends, socializing, meeting new people, and doing something that was definitely new to me at the time. However, upon reflecting, I had no disciplinary systems in place. I had genuinely no one to hold me to account in terms of what may be detrimental to what I was doing for the long term. And now at 23 years old, consistently going to the gym, finding purpose and happiness in what I want to do is something that has really changed my perspective on life. I knew that just working a 9-to-5 job wasn't going to be sustainable. This all came down to a change in mindset ultimately. I started seeing myself as capable and willing to achieve some special things. Over the last year or so, I knew that life had to offer me more. I have now ultimately found pleasure in pain, in which some people might look at a bit funny or just through a different lens. At a time where I often neglected my style and personal appearance, I had to change and see myself as capable and willing to dress with respect and act in a responsible and appropriate manner. This also comes to the idea that I was looking through everything in a lens of competition. I often saw people and sometimes even my friends as enemies in a way. Could sometimes never be happy for someone because I was almost jealous of their status or of what they were able to acquire. I remember I would always get frustrated or a bit put off by certain people because they had a better dress sense. They were ultimately doing very well for themselves. And I almost fabricated the emotion of anger to try and make myself feel better. I noticed that people had these pieces of clothing that were really nice, and I would always get angry to say, oh, how did this person get this piece and I don't have that piece? They must be so much better. And it just infuriated me. But once I learned to drop that idea of competition and see everyone as a friend, it changed my perspective on a lot. At a time where I used to get frustrated because I thought people looked better than me, or I was jealous of someone's appearance, I am now quite open-minded. I'm very open to new learnings and very eager to try new things. I now see this as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to get better and take the learnings from someone else who's had the experience. This also relates to the idea that competition sees people as winners and losers. And when we view things through the lens of competition, we're constantly in fear of being judged or making mistakes, and essentially in fear of doing the wrong thing. But when we think like this, we actually don't try new things. We stick to our old poor habits, and we create inbuilt excuses for us to not achieve goals and achieve what we really want in life. When we're so hung up on winning and losing, we actually make the incorrect calls. For me, when I first started going to the gym, I didn't go into the gym for the first time and be like, yeah, I'm bigger, bro, move, I'm bigger. How can I expect to learn and grow if I was to constantly stay in my own way and be set in the type of manner I operate in? Another funny story that I want to highlight is when I was 18 and 19 and experiencing the first outings of going clubbing or going to a bar. Some of you might be able to relate with this, but I would always love to staunch the line outside the club and be like, hey, be to my mates, hey, you reckon I could take this guy on? You reckon I could take him? Yeah, I'll take him. I just reflect on that, and it's good to see how far you've come in that sense. Wearing skinny jeans and fitted tees. It's always nice to reflect and see that you've made so much progress. I also had this funny story at work the other day as well. I had a client come in. I looked after him, and we were having a conversation after, and he came to me. He's like, yeah, I just started getting into the gym, want to fill out my clothes, just want to look good in the clothes I wear, you know. I want to feel good in what I'm wearing. Completely agree with that, and I back that all the way. However, he was saying, yeah, I'm just starting first week, and then he showed me this video of some peptides he was taking. I want to talk about this idea because I find it's being swept under the rug in the fitness industry a little bit. But I said to him, like, oh, why are you doing that sort of stuff? Why don't you just build the body naturally? He goes to me, oh, all my cousins and all my friends are taking it, and yeah, I just want to get big, bro. Do you know what I mean? I just want to get big. And he started laughing. I looked at him a bit funny. And he got a bit uncomfortable. But all in all, it's a repulsive, insecure behavior. And by the end of it, you're in a cycle and you're constantly wanting more and more and more, because at the end of the day, it's never enough. And again, when you're chasing other people's approval, when you're constantly chasing validation and recognition from others, you're never truly living to yourself and to your true core. Complete positive daily habits that will transform your life. There is always opportunities to get better, but it's in which lens you choose to look through that will ultimately dictate your happiness. Wrapping it up with a fit check. Yes, sir, there it is. Liverpool jacket zip up from the current season, which is 26 and 27 season. Paired it with the Uniqlo wide leg sweats in the black color, and you can see this. Finished it off with a pair of salt grey Sambas. Very comfortable, and again, very stylish. We don't miss out here. We don't miss. So that is that. I am currently doing in-person styling one-on-one, as well as online advice in regard to your style and fashion. Linked below, in addition, is also a fitness coaching offering. I will leave all links in the description. You'll see a link to my socials, as well as a link to the form inquiries. Thank you for watching, people. Appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay sharp.